Okay, let's do this.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, and man, that's almost that wrong show. But hey, we're on the Traveling Owl because I can't tell you what show, and I just want to tell you that the Outlight Network is really super excited because Chainer's Haunted Secrets is going to be a wonderful sponsor for the Ohio Haunters Convention, which is in May of 2026, the 9th and the 10th. And guess what? Your tickets are now on sale for this convention at ohiohaunters.com. And then you can follow the link and get your tickets. But let's go ahead and get into a show that we haven't done this show in a while just because we've been trying to figure out what kind of topics we're going to be talking about. And right now, on this day, man, there is a lot of talk about what kind of snowflake is it going to be? Is it going to be a big snowflake? Is it going to be a small snowflake? Are we going to get a inch of snow? Are we getting 2 feet of snow? No one really knows. Yeah, this is going to be relevant to different weather conditions on this show. But as of right now, Wednesday, January 21st, we are expecting a wicked snow event. And as this keeps on coming around, we don't even know what we're going to get. Like I said, it could be an inch, it could be 2 inches, it could be whatever. But as we were talking about stuff, me and Friday, we kind of wanted to make sure that everybody understood kind of when you're traveling, what are things that needs to be really thought of? We always look at driver's ed as one of those things that, hey, I got my license, yay! But weather conditions can pop up so quickly. My weather here in Ohio is a lot different than Fridays down in that Texas wonderful heat. So Friday, as we're going to talk about this, what's something that you really have to take in consideration down in your neck of the woods?
Okay, well, first, the whole entire idea is not to end up a sleeper in the garden. Please don't come sleep in my favorite garden. But think about why. We were having conversations about this earlier because we are all getting ready for the storms that are coming. Yes, for some odd reason, We realized around about this time we don't have many groceries, so we go and we get the groceries. But you gotta pay attention to what type of vehicle do you have? Do you have the ability to drive if it does get ice? Do you have something that has all-wheel drive? What type of tires do you have? Do you need to make sure your tires are changed or you have all terrain? Because that is a big thing. My uncle was talking about whether or not their tires were still good and whether or not they were all terrain because we were going to get the ice suit. You have to look at the other drivers. Are you skilled of driving in ice and snow? That is not a big thing down here. A lot of people don't know because it is not that big of a occurrence. It happens every 2 to 3, maybe 4 years. It is not something a lot of the newer drivers are skilled in. Have you been taught? What are you going to do to make sure you're safe? Those are like the big topics that we talked about today.
Well, one of the things that I think is kind of fun to really think about is everybody is talking about the mighty penny, but the trick of the trade is if you can see Abraham Lincoln's head, you need to get some new tread on them tires. And
Yeah.
as everybody said, maybe the penny ain't going to be here forever. Um, Maybe perhaps there is something that you need to invest in. Maybe yeah. Excuse me, man. My dinner is taking revenge on me. Oh, Captain D's delicious until it fights back. Anyway, what we were talking about is perhaps you guys need to take in consideration of getting a tread checker. Um, they're not expensive at all. Some places you can find them at tire stores. You can find them at different places. Check your tread because Mother Nature doesn't care about your tread. And even if you have good tread, there is ice. Ice does not play nice with any kind of tread, be no tread at all or all the tread in the world. It doesn't matter. There are different tires that are custom here in the United States that you are able to get, and these tires are wonderful. They actually have little metal studs in them. So just think of this as very important as we don't know, once again, what the weather is going to do. Everybody has said the exact same thing. Our weather maps are showing 3 different things. 2 of them's pretty close. The third one might be pushed out a little bit. So we don't know exactly what we're going to get. But what we do know is it is going to be a weather event. Do you have a blanket in your car? In case you are not making it to your destination, uh, everybody's always said have a full tank of gas if you're going to set out somewhere. It's very important. Um, Half a tank of gas might be something that a lot of people sit with, and at least have a half a tank of gas, because if you go into this weather and the situation happens to you, you don't want the situation to happen to you. I know you don't, but it might be a situation where you're like looking at it and understanding, um, I might not get help. So have plenty of fuel. That way you can keep the heater going. Make sure that you take warm clothes, blankets. They also have opportunities, and they make stuff that is just a red little thing. If key thing to think about is if you do go off the road and someone comes to check on you, if they see a red piece of cloth, sign, or anything that says help, they know that someone needs help and it needs to be handled. It's not hard to get that outside your door and then shut your door and stay in the heater.
Yeah.
AAA is a wonderful thing. A lot of people over the United States has AAA, and I think it's wonderful. The bad thing is, if you're needing to use AAA in a snowstorm, there's a good chance that there's a lot of people that's using that. Here in my county where I live, we do not have snow emergency levels. We don't. It's you take yourself into your own hands. All the counties around us, they do. So we kind of look at that and say, this county over here, this county, they all said it's a level 2. This one said level 3. It's probably a good idea not to go out. I don't know if you guys have any levels for anything you guys do down in Texas. Once again, Mideast right here. And it's as far of the Middle East as you're going to get, because the Eastern Coast states are right beside us.
It is recommended right now that you get all your supplies within tomorrow or early Friday, and you try your best to stay home. And because the majority of people don't know how to drive in the weather, and that it's not easy when it's not normal. So that is right now the recommendation. I don't know what levels they're being called because I haven't looked in that. I have looked into listen to the older people who know what the heck they're talking to, because I've had multiple like older uncles and aunts, because well, my parents have passed away, so it's not like I can have the conversation with them. But they're like, okay, make sure you get everything, stay home, don't hurt my babies, and do everything smartly. And that there's also another recommendation: if you have the ability ahead of time or thinking in the future, like we have a bag of blankets in one of those those vacuum bags where you vacuum out all the air and it's just squished, and we have them put behind the seat in the truck. Also, there are Mylar blankets that you can get that retain the heat really well. They're very thin and they can be folded and put in the glove box. Um, Crayon. It's amazing how just burning a crayon or two can not open, that can heat up your cab, heat up your car. There are other ways if you don't have the ability to keep your vehicle on that you can help. Those old chips, those can help, but also make sure you're smart if you're having to use the fire, because you can also catch your car on fire. That is why we do suggest um the whole just having blankets in your car, being able to keep it on.
Right.
But look at the warning. Listen to your older people, because if you're like me, you have older people in your life. They don't have to be family members, but they do know your area, and they're like, okay, this is happening. I've got this and this. I still need to get this. Make sure you're talking to them, because if you're younger, you don't necessarily know how your area of the state you're living in um, goes through the type of weather. And if you can't keep heat in your house for some odd reason, you can't pay the electric bill or whatever, please see if you can spend the time at somebody else's where they have a place for you to stay. There's always that. Hi.
I'm
Always
always
let's
going to
listen to
leave.
Steve.
I'm always going to listen to Steve. Steve is a safety manager at a company, and I will absolutely listen to him. But the thing is, um, a whole bunch of our knowledge has come through the do's and don'ts of different people. Um, Even though I know he's saying that he's an older person, Steve's actually full of knowledge, and we want you guys to think about stuff. We want you to be safe. One of the key things is if you do not need to travel, hunker
Don't.
down. I mean, I don't care. This might be the perfect time for you to pick up a guitar and actually act like you're starting to learn a guitar. But that's what I'm saying. Do not,
Wait.
if you can help yourself, do not go out and stuff.
Yeah. Get under the blankets and have a nap. Catch up on your sleep this weekend. I never called
If
you old. You might be older than I am. Hey, are you older than 39 years old?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He is. If you don't want to listen to Steve, that's fine. He's got a DJ service. He will be more than happy to hook up the speakers and yell over the speakers. Pay attention.
Yeah.
This is one of the things that I don't guarantee, and I never want to guarantee what is coming. But everybody says what is coming. I said we'll find out exactly what all came when Mother Nature looks at us in her rear view mirror. Because once she gets done running us over, then we can figure out what we need to do. Stay home if you guys can stay home. It's very important. Getting away from snow a little bit. I'm going to be honest. The Department of Transportation, weather people, and everything all have this thing. It says, don't drown, turn around. If you cannot see lines on the road, it's too deep. The thing is, if there is flowing water, it is too deep. Just turn around. It is so much easier for you to take a little extra time to turn around and don't drown. That's very important. Here's the kicker. You can have a winter amount of snow, and then all of a sudden it starts warming up a little bit and you have a downpour of rain. This will cause areas to flood. Now, flooding doesn't just occur where you can see it. Flooding can occur underneath a ice patch. So if there's ice and you think it's okay to drive, that doesn't mean there's not flowing water underneath it. That just means that you haven't found it yet. And trust me, you ain't going to be the one that wants to find that kind of moving water, because I've dealt with people that have went into, whoa, you changed the background. Not good for ADHD.
That was not my
Friday.
plan. I was trying to figure out something and I'm like, oops, I hit mango.
Anyway, so as we are talking about this whole thing, we want everybody to understand the risks of being on the road. In the event that you guys get snow, there's a thing called a snow squall. And a snow squall can come up. Sometimes you can see them on the radar coming after you, and sometimes you can't. This is very important, absolutely, to think about. Because during a snow squall, zero visibility. It goes you being able to see a mile to you not being able to see out your back door. And this is very important for us to really say something. We don't know when you're going to be able to see this video. You could be watching this live, or you could be finding this on YouTube down the road. But this is all stuff that you need to pay attention to. A snow squall starts up. The best thing you can do is just put on your hazards and try your hardest to get out of that situation. It is never a good thing. Well, that's not good at all. Gee, criminy.
We're trying to help you learn how to be safe, Johnny.
So in this episode, we're talking about different road safety, and during a weather event, what could be some things that you need to think about? And as we are coming up to a weather event, this is important, and we want to make sure that everybody knows how important it is to take in consideration of these things. Um, if you can get your stuff, get what you need, get the shopping done in the next couple of days, get it done. As soon as you get into this weather emergency, just go ahead and try hunkering down. If you've got to move, you got to do anything, you're going to have to take your time. And that is very important. Another thing you need to think about is in your vehicle, having a small shovel might be a really good thing. Um, Cat litter. And I'm talking about that cat litter that your cat sat down and went to the bathroom and screamed because it was so sharp and painful. I'm talking about that cheap stuff, that 99-cent bag stuff. The one that is just little gravel. That could be some of the best get me out of this ditch stuff that you could get a hold of. I've seen people use fertilizer to get out of stuff and it doesn't leave that much of a problem. But these are all things that when you're in the ditch, you start thinking, well, maybe I should have thought of that before I ended up here. Best way to get out of the ditch, just don't get in the ditch. Stay home. That's pretty easy. But it is one of those things that if you have family members, you worry about them. You want to go check on them. And as soon as the emergency's over and things are starting to get whatever, go out, check on your neighbors, check on your elderly. Don't let your pets out in this unless it's a husky or a very good winterized dog. They kind of like this type of weather. So think of what kind of dog you got. I have 4 pit bulls. They ain't going outside when this starts rocking and rolling if we start getting stuff. So what happens if we don't get snow and we still get moisture? It's going to be cold enough that there's a possibility in the Ohio area we might get freezing rain. It comes down as rain and hits the ground, instantly freezes. And that is going to be a snow or a ice emergency. It doesn't take much ice for you to lose all type of traction. But if it is a ice emergency and you are traveling, you are not going to notice it until it happens 90% of the time. Something that is very important for you to really look at is the vehicle in front of you. If you look at that vehicle's tires and you can see water coming off of it, that's a good thing. If you can see no water coming off, you might be on ice already. If you are on ice and you are in a semi, for example, turn that Jake brake off because it has every opportunity to go ahead and start spinning backwards and making you lose control. I don't want that. You don't want it. No one wants it. But that being said, how close should you be to a semi? You should give proper room. That semi should give proper room to you. It's one of those situations that if you're hauling a trailer, it is going to be easier for you to jackknife and do a lot more damage. So if you can, try not to haul a trailer. Make sure that your trailer has the proper weight in the proper areas. Say that again. Proper weight
in the
proper area.
areas.
That is
Dude,
important. If you ain't got no weight on the back tires, you ain't got nothing.
I live next to a highway, okay? I'm hoping I'm praying that the truckers that pass me constantly every day know what they're doing. And they have the proper weight in the proper areas.
So
and that they can that they are paying attention to everything because we have nearly been hit by a trucker recently in the rain. We were the bus in front and they didn't see us in time and they just barely stopped in time. And that has given me a healthy new fear.
So one thing I will tell you, this happened twice to me. Okay. I move. I'm a truck driver. I drive down the road. I give room. I give plenty of room. I give so much room that you could probably get 2 or 3 rigs in between us sometimes. And I cannot fix when somebody wants that lane in front of me, they will take it. What has happened in the last couple of days is I've been put in a position where I can't move over. Traffic goes past me on both sides and they try merging over as soon as they get past me. And it happened twice yesterday that the vehicles almost merged into the lane in front of me and hit each other. I'm trying to get over. I've got my turn signal over. People won't pay attention. And that's one of the key facts. Pay attention to what is going on. I need you to absolutely think about everything. You're never in too much of a hurry that you can't do something safe. Absolutely. You're never in that much of a hurry. If you are in that much of a hurry, there's a good possibility that you're going to be in so much of a hurry that a rescue squad helps you get to a new location. And that's very important. Give room to bigger vehicles. I know you're trying to get to wherever you're trying to go. Take in consideration, I know it's a weird thought. Take in consideration giving yourself 15 more minutes of your life to get there in a safer time. You don't need that Starbucks. You don't need that Dunkin' Donuts that bad to get to work in a safe manner. I want everybody to understand how important that is in travel because bigger cities, you are crunching every single second, and I understand. How far should you be looking when you're driving? As
You
far
should
as you can
be
see.
looking as far as you can see in either way. And this is the difference. This one old lady, like, been around 60 years, and my daughter. But then again, my daughter has some things she didn't have. She grew up with truck driver grandparents. So she's like, at least give them 4 football fields, please, my daughter. And then the old lady is like, they get more breaks than I do. I'll be fine. And her not understand why my
No.
dad looked at the old lady like she was stupid.
We have more brakes on a semi. Yeah, that's absolutely true. But that doesn't even come close to some of the loads. And I say that not as trucks are dangerous on the roads. I say that as if you put yourself in a position that you have passed somebody and then you hit the brakes, there is many things that come into play. On bad roads, this is absolutely increasing. But you go and I can do this really quick, okay? I'm holding my hand shut. As soon as you see my hand open, just go ahead and open your hand. It's really easy. You have a delay versus what you seen to the reaction that you done it. There is a delay. So if you don't understand there's a delay from that, you do not understand there's a delay in you seeing those brake lights to you going ahead and applying yours. This is very important. Know your surroundings. We have wonderful devices on vehicles nowadays that tell us, hey, there's a vehicle in your blind spot. That should not be the first time that you notice there was a vehicle in your blind spot, but it happens a lot. So take the time, know your surroundings, look at your surroundings. If you're backing up, it is nothing wrong with understanding. Get out and look. It is easy. Get out and look. If you're going to a parking spot, if you can go ahead and back into that parking spot and you can do it properly, that is one less thing that your brain's got to really worry about when you take off. Because it's easier for you to start making approach forwards and notice that there is a vehicle that's coming in front of you and you hit the brakes. And that is all about giving yourself a little extra time. We all love them pull through spots. Man, I love them. But there's sometimes I go and I park out a little farther just to ensure that I can get out properly. Now, parking lots in bad weather. Hey, that's a good thing to think about. Some people with these weather conditions, they are not going to be able to get the snow removed from the parking lots. Does that mean that it's safe? No, it just means that you got to use a lot more caution in parking lots. People traveling, people walking, people pushing carts, little kids. When I was doing my training, I was always told, this is very important, fear the bouncing ball. Because where there's a bouncing ball, usually there's a child near it. That works for dogs too, bouncing balls and dogs. And these are all important things we want you guys to really think about on your travels. You guys are going to go to gas stations. You guys are going to get fuel. Have you checked the weather? Is the weather looking like it's not going to be the best thing? Is there a severe thunderstorm that's coming your way? Can you find a place that's safe for you to get out of the weather, take a break? This brings up another thing about traveling in weather. You are focused on your traveling through weather so much that you don't understand how much stress it is on your brain. This is very important. Driving through weather causes a lot of stress and extra focus that your brain needs to have a break. If you get through bad weather, pull off. Take opportunity, relax, do some breathing, figure out where you're going. Is the weather going with you? Are you going with the weather? Are you just doing that cross? These are all things that could help you out so much, could save you. And you guys just don't know it yet. Another thing, who has weather radios? I have a weather radio in my house, and I have a weather radio in my semi. That way, all of a sudden, I could be going through a area, and it could tell me that there's bad weather coming through this area with mile marker this and mile marker that. Well, I can see what mile markers I'm at. This is important. No one wants to be caught off guard. Are you going to be? There's a good chance of it. Like I said, this weather, we don't know what's coming at us. But there's a lot of variables coming in this weather. There's a lot of more variables coming later on. What a lot of people don't think of is if you go and you let your car sit there and it's in snow, yeah, it's going to run, but there's two things. Number one, if it doesn't get air to flow into it, you could overheat an engine. It's a possibility of creating enough heat underneath your hood that it overheats an engine because it's not getting enough through the radiator because you are stuck in snow. Second part to that is your exhaust ventilating. Is it whatever? There's a possibility of snow being packed in right behind you that your exhaust is not properly getting away from your car. So if it's going and you're running a heater and you're starting to get really tired, your exhaust might be an issue, and that's putting your life in jeopardy. These are all things that we want to make sure that you guys are all thinking about, because I want you guys to come back and watch another episode or one of the other shows that we do. But if you are in a accident, you might not be watching anything. And please don't tell me you watched this episode while you were stuck in a ditch. That's not fun. You're probably going to look at it and say, well, should have thought of that, should have thought of that. I can't control when you see this, but what I'm going to control is giving you information and making you think about it. Have extra blankets, have extra coats, water. Make sure that you guys have water. If you have water in your car and it's frozen, put it inside your coat. Yeah, it's going to be cold, but it's going to help it start melting. That way you are able to drink water. Have snacks in your vehicle. Snacks can freeze, but I'll tell you what, a peanut butter cracker, I'll gnaw on that thing if I'm seriously stuck for a while. And that's the possibility if you're calling for a tow truck. Be friendly to other motorists. If you see a car that's in the ditch and you notice that there are people in that vehicle and you are able, let me say this so understandably. If you know you can get to them safely to check on them, please say something. If you can't get to them and you still want them to be checked on, notify your sheriff's office, your police department, whatever. Get a hold of them. Just let them know, hey, you don't know the phone number? Call 911 and tell them right off the bat, this is a non-emergency, but I just wanted you to know there is a vehicle that's in a ditch at this location. Make sure you know where your location is. That way somebody can check. But you got to be safe about it. One of the key things is scene safety. If you put your vehicle on the side of a ditch, are you getting your vehicle out of that ditch? Can you properly stop your vehicle on the road and go check on that person? Are you feeling comfortable enough to go check on this person? These are all things that you need to think of. Go ahead and call the police and just tell them, hey, I just came across, I can see a vehicle. It's got lights on. Give them a description. Can you see a plate? No, but they're at this location. Okay. I've done that many different times. So these are all things to really think about. Is your cell phone charged? Do you need to charge your cell phone? Do you have a charger? This is important. Do you have a phone charger? If you have a phone charger, do you have the device to plug it in? You'd be so amazed how many times that is an important thing. Friday, you got anything to add to that?
If you have the ability to get to Dollar Tree right now with a total of like maybe $6, you can get a fast charging cord, because they have like $5 ones that even light up, and then you can get the plug-in to your vehicle. You can find a whole bunch of things like battery operated push lights that are really bright. I recommend backing up on those. They have batteries, they have everything. For maybe $20, you can get battery operated lights, you can get a charger cord, you can get the plug-in for your vehicle, you can get the cone thing to put on top of your car, the red thing. That way they can see you at a lot of them, and you can get cheap snacks even, and drinks there. It is totally worth trying. And also, definitely, if you're unsure of what to do, you can always ask the person who is there, the stalker, the cashier. They can help you find the items you need that they have. Or you can go to Walmart and do the same thing. I recommend doing what you can ahead of time and getting doing a supply package in your vehicle, like the trunk or behind the car seat if you have like a truck with a cab. So there's all sorts of ways to get ready for cheap.
Flashlights are very, very important because
Yes,
honestly,
flashlight.
when are you when are you going to end up in the ditch? When are you going to go out? You don't know. Um, know your vehicle. This is this is absolutely one of the most important things. Yeah, Friday has lights. She gets a lot of storms that knocks the power out. She's got plenty of different lights. Um, this is really important, and I want to make sure that everybody understands. Know your vehicle. What kind of vehicle are you driving? What is important about that vehicle? Can you attach a tow to something? Do not attach a tow to a wheel. You're going to mess up your car even more. So if you've got a hitch, attach it to the hitch assembly. If you've got different things, um, there's vehicles that have. Have you ever seen a vehicle that has a little circle in the front bumper? Those are actually for tows. It actually has a little thing. It goes in, clicks, and pulls. Um, Tow trucks know what they're getting into. They've been around a long time. I don't know everything that everybody's had to do, but I'm telling you, know your vehicle. Is it a front wheel drive? Is it a rear wheel drive? Is it a all wheel drive? Is it a all wheel intelligence? Does your vehicle have the little knob in the center that goes from four-wheel drive, sand, mud, and then you can even do snow? Make sure your vehicle is done with the right settings. Make sure you know that vehicle. One of the, I'm not going to say the stupidest things, but I'm going to say the most uneducational things I've ever been told is I did not use my windshield wipers because I didn't know how to turn them on. There's plenty of time that you should learn that before you set out. Does your windshield wipers work? They're not working? Then maybe that's not the best vehicle for you to take. Does your headlight turn on? Do you know how to turn your headlights on? Going down the interstate this yesterday morning, it was dark. There was plenty of vehicle that did not know how to turn their headlights on. That's important. You're going past a vehicle, I would like to see what is there. Not saying that's illegal, because it is illegal, but learn how to turn on your headlights. Learn how to turn
Learn
on your turn signals.
learn how all the buttons on your work. How you work the heater, learn how you work everything. Play with your buttons.
Learning learning how to control the stereo is not nearly as important as how to turn on your windshield wipers. But I will also say this. If it's bad conditions, then you need to think about, am I using a headset for communication? Am I not taking phone calls? Am I having it attached to my stereo? These are important things. Now, we have talked about a whole bunch of different things, and It's important. But here's one of the key components, okay? All this stuff might be important, but one of the most important things that you guys can ever do is set yourself a goal, okay? And the goal is I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that I get from point A to point B. If I am having problems acquiring that goal, I need to go back. It is not a bad thing for you to say, okay, I know what the weather was where I came from, so let me turn around because it's getting bad me going forwards. Now, on Monday, I set out early, no weather conditions, got down. 1 hour into my trip, I got a notification that maybe this trip was not going to be a good idea. Here's the kicker. All the situation that brought it into question if this was going to be a good idea of a trip was all behind me. I could have turned around and went back. But me turning around and going back, I would have faced all the problems that someone else was telling me was happening now. Me, I was going ahead of the situation. So, as long as I'm going ahead of the situation, I should not turn back. I made it where I needed to go, got what I needed to do, turned around, started coming back, and then I started getting into the situation that they had to deal with. Was it too bad? It wasn't as bad as it was, and it wasn't as bad as it could have been. So, this being said, always understand that the situation might be better if you just keep going forwards, or it might be better if you turn around and come back. I've left on a trip, found out that the ice was there, and I needed to stop, turn around, and I went back. And I delayed my trip by 2 hours. Did that set me back? That set me back, yes. But I was safe. No one in my family had to deal with any situation, and no one that was involved in the situation had to talk to their family about what had happened. Understand that you're capable of a lot of things. And some of the best things that you need to understand that you're capable is saying, you know what? I need to turn around right now. It is so much better for you to take an opportunity to give yourself extra time, maybe leaving earlier, or maybe leaving later. So we have covered a lot of things that are very important to weather that we're going to be encountering now. And we've brought up some stuff that is other situations that need to be understood because we all want to make sure that we get to our destinations. Because honestly, if you decide that you're going to go down for vacation and it's hurricane season and you make it to where you're needing to go and the hurricane hits you, that's going to make one heck of a story. But you never want to be traveling when that hits. No one wants to get hit when they're traveling. So make sure you guys take in consideration. Make sure you guys have your phones charged. If you need to go out, try doing it earlier or maybe perhaps after the situation's passed. But there's always a time and a place. And unless you want to end up in Friday's Garden, take the consideration to be a little safer than the person that ended up in the ditch.
And this is one of the few times where we're going to tell you the journey is not worth it if you're not going to be there the next day.
That's true. We want you guys to all be able to get there safely. My career, the job I do, I love it. I love the places I get to go. I love to see what I'm doing next. But it's not fun when there's situations that happen and it brings me closer to me not being able to do what I enjoy. Friday, are we okay?
Friday's fine. Like I said, Friday has a cold and she just sneezed a couple of times. That's all.
Okay. So, but I want everybody to go out, be serious with this weather. Um we've got
It's
we've got Wednesday, or no, we're in Wednesday. We got Thursday and Friday to figure out a little more information about what is coming to our neck of the woods. Friday is when it's supposed to start the whole situation. Early Friday, and that's in California, where the high, the low, the hot, the colds all mixing. Jet stream is being created. All this. There's 3 maps that weather people look at, and they're not communicating very well to the people. Um, we know that we're going to get something. We don't know who's going to get what. Um, the message that we got in our conversation comments here says southeast Pennsylvania is calling for 6+ inches.
It is calling for 2 inches
I
here.
I want everybody to understand. I have seen the map. I've seen different parts of this map, and this different parts of this map is very, very off in different ways. One is calling for Kentucky to possibly get 2 feet. 2 feet of snow is a decent amount of snow. 6 inches is a decent amount of snow. 4 inches is a decent amount of snow. What Russia just got, they didn't measure in inches. They measured in footage, or they were doing it in meters. Because what Russia got was chaotic. Their storm is not our storm. What we can do is advise everybody to watch the weather. I know that the Weather Channel, the weather networks, the news, they're all talking about this. And they don't know what's coming, but they want to give you an idea of it don't look good. So please, go out, do what you want to do beforehand. Get it done. I do believe my weather here is supposed to start on Saturday around noon. And if that's the case, I've got something to do Saturday evening. It's going to get canceled. And if it gets canceled, I'm going to have a very cranky offspring in my dormitile. So I'm just going to say, hopefully, we can fight it off and we can get it done. That way she's a little happier. But make sure that you guys have the precautions. What are you going to do if the power goes out? Friday's got a game plan. I'm asking everybody, do you have a game plan? Because if the power goes out, do you have water? Do you have this? Do you have that? How are you going to communicate with everybody? And I know as soon as we get the snow and somebody goes, oh, well, we didn't get what we thought we were going to get, they're going to put on Facebook marking themselves as a survivor of the snow apocalypse and saying, oh, yeah, it was horrible. We got 1 inch. We don't know what's coming right now. And just be prepared. Yeah, that's what I really wanted to talk about on this episode. Friday, do you have anything?
My only addition is um this is the only type of news I'm gonna like because normally I'm not like watch the news. Watch your chosen weather app, or do like my older generations of my family does, watch the weather channel. I will repost the video where we talked about the main weather place to look for the weather. And please pay attention and take care of yourself. I love my garden. Don't join my garden. I love these people. These were wonderful people when they were alive. Don't join them in death.
Um,
Live.
I do want. Oh, you froze there for a sec. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just saying live.
Yeah.
Be safe. Join join us tomorrow.
I do want to add something very important, and I hope people understand the importance of this, and it's very important. Um, if you are looking at a post on TikTok or Facebook or wherever you get your information, let's go ahead and put a little extra thought in it and see when it was posted. You're getting a lot of information posted out there with this storm, but here's what I'm going to say. If you go ahead and you post this and post that and this and that, oh my gosh, I love seeing that people post when somebody is missing. But you don't look through the post when you repost it sometimes to find out they're not missing anymore and they have been found for over 3 years. A post will stay out there. So, if they're talking about a storm coming in and you see something that posts about a storm coming in, is it talking about this storm? Is it talking about a storm that happened 3 years that just happens to look like it might be coming down the same thing? They have tags on posts. Says 6 hours ago, 1 hour ago, 30 minutes ago, a day ago, 5 years ago. Don't tag a friend in a post that's been 5 years ago and say, "Hey, see this? It tells me that you shouldn't be outside. There's a whole bunch of snow coming out." Well, yeah, but this isn't the relevancy. You gotta understand. Check your posts. Nothing catches me more than someone that has posted something and the original post was years ago. Has no relevancy to the situation right now. So you post the wrong map, you're giving the wrong information. Meteorologists are trying their hardest. Man, I know a meteorologist. She is doing everything she can to make sure the information comes out correctly to the best capabilities. That's what we should be asking for. Best information, best capabilities, but it takes time. And if you're not getting information, you're not getting numbers, and we're really getting into this, that means that they're not sure and they're concerned. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope so. I worry about you guys on the road. I worry about you guys being at your houses. Do not think it's the best idea to go out and hook up to a trailer and do everything you can. Sounds like my dog's not very happy upstairs. But that's pretty much what I got. Friday, you got anything else you want to add? Because honestly, we weren't quite sure if we're going to make an hour,
I think that's
but
everything.
hey,
That's
go
everything,
out.
I think.
Honestly, if you get this much snow, go out, spend quality time in your front yard, make a snowman. You know how hard it is to see people making snowman? Do a snowman. And don't be one of those people that drive your car into the snowman. Come on, let them have a snowman. You might find out there was a stump instead of a snowman. So, that's what I wanted to bring up. Go ahead, Friday.
My last thing is, please be kind to yourself and take care of yourself. Okay?
I'm good. I'm
You're good?
happy.
Okay. Then let's say goodnight, everybody. Come back
Good night, everybody, and make sure you have mud flaps.